Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. I have got my microphone out because that is the only way we can also hear the music. Today we're looking at making our own colors. So just over here you get to hear me as I putter about, just doing some chitter chatter. I haven't got anything else set up because of trying to get this. The laptop, like I said, it's stupid loud, and I am sorry for that. It's old, and it has definitely taken some falls. Within a month of having it repaired, it started doing this, and the mouse pad stopped working, the touch screen stopped working, and at that point I didn't know where the heck the contact information was to get back in touch with the warranty company. So for 2 years I've just been dealing with this. We have got here I've had to switch the mouse to Bluetooth, which I then had to set up because I needed the port for the music folder, which wasn't on my computer, so I had to go grab the hard drive. So all 3 of my ports are in use. I'm mentally off to a slow start today. I just kept hitting snooze and hitting snooze and hitting snooze. So I was an hour behind to take care of the cats. Yes, I'm on kitty watch again this weekend. Which is fine. I adore the kitties. Panda's over in the bedroom, curled up under the blanket. She was a psycho throughout the night, which was actually entertaining, but I just kept sleeping. Oh, there were no corpses, so she wasn't going after anything that way, which is awesome, because I don't like corpse removal, and I like they're still alive removal even less. But you know, kitties. Alright, this appears to be picking up the microphone. Hopefully you can hear me. I've switched to the overhead instead of the PC. I have the camera going, as we can see. What I was doing was making sure that the autofocus is off, because we just don't want to deal with that. We don't want to have any of that nonsense. Going to configure, make sure auto is off. It is not. Alright, well, I've improved its quality. Let's see how it handles the picture we're going to be working on today. I want it focus in over here on this one. That focus going. Turn it off. That looks good. Going to switch up the zoom. I don't want this in 4K because then we will be there on some pretty craptastic the chat will be delayed if I do 4K. I mean, it's already got almost 10 seconds of delay. It's much worse if I go higher resolution. But I want you to see that, but I also want it zoomed in. Okay, we'll leave it as is. I'm going to close it up. While I wait for people to get here. It's looking pretty good. Yep. I say wait for people to get here. You guys never show up, which is absolutely fine. This is just, you don't have to say anything. Just want you here for you to feel like you can create stuff. All right, so that's looking good. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I won't do my overhead until we actually start painting. All right, I am going to do some mixing. First, I'm going to go grab my tablet so that I'll know, for all of our sakes, if you can hear me. All right. Leave this as is for right now and be right back. Well, it looks like even though it played the opening, Media Player is being a dick. So, and since I haven't used this laptop in quite a while, I'm going to take a moment and I will be installing Cantaris because it's a good media player. I don't know why I went to move on. All of that is fine. I'm going to reinstall Cantaris. We got so luckily this is pretty quick. I've got the file already in. We're gonna open it once it's downloaded. We can add some music so you don't have to listen to me ramble. Having a momentary panic of, oh no, I haven't cleaned under my nails, only to look down and be like, well damn, they're actually in good condition today, which means that Panda hasn't gotten nearly enough snuggles, and I didn't give Gray some scratches like I did last night. He is very much a large gray tomcat, and because of his size he has mobility issues for grooming and scratching, and yay, hi Rita. So I take care of Gray, and when I'm giving him his little love snuggle scratches, I do the full body scratch. Yeah, my sleepy baby, she's under the blanket doing her thing. It's all good. Yeah. Yep. The upstairs cats are a very fluffy storm cloud named Pinot Noir, and like I said, a very large gray boy named Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio. And they just call them the gray cat and the black cat. But you know me, like, they got names, I'm gonna use them. All right, so I've almost got the music player installed and going. I'll show you the image. If you've seen the thumbnail, you know what we're working on. But what I need to do first is I need to mix the colors, because I don't have any colors that resemble, hopefully this will show up. Should probably probably turn up the screen brightness, but I don't have any colors that resemble these, so I'm going to be making my own, hoping for the best. Okay, media player is ready to go. Just gotta add some music to it. How are the Golden Girls doing today? Are your ladies still being their oh so cute selves? I call them cute because, you know, they're cute, but they're also troublemakers. Gonna pause the music, turn off the visualization so I don't want to throw up. Yeah. Have they made any breaks yet? Like gone and visited the neighbors, or are they behaving themselves in your yard? Hustle mode. I like that. Eight. Awesome. We have got the music set up, the microphone set up. I can just get into it now. Happy day, happy day. Oh my goodness. Oh, those girls. Oh, they're all smarter than Bruno. That's not hard, but he's smart in other ways. And it's kind of good that he's not that smart, because oh Lord. If he could do what those chickens do, you would have no rest. Aw. Bruno is a smart, adorable, butt wiggly snuggle bum. I love him. Okay. So in my attempts to make this kind of neon green, I'll start with the basic of sap green, which has already got kind of yellow to it. I've never actually made neon colors. I'm not looking this up. I'm just eyeballing it. We've got a Viridian, which has a blue tint. Ugh. Come on. Hooray for this, because I am afraid I would burst something if I didn't take off the cap. There we go. Get the blue-green. And for a little bit of punch, we have a lemon yellow. Like I said, this is all just me experimenting. Yeah, I gotta hope for the best. And it's not like I'm using I mean, they're not cheap materials, but they're also not super expensive. Sorry about the scrapey noise. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Got your drinks on hand. If you are painting like me, make sure that your cup is much different from your drinking vessel. I've got my handy dandy 40 ounce jumbo, or 20 ounce, what is it? 40 ounce, 1.2 liter. Drink 2 of these in a day, and I've got my water. So that's for my water. And then for the brushes, I've got a makeup brush, collapsible bowl, that the water to rinse my brush goes into. Just fill it up. There we go. So there are too many horror moments where people drink out of their water. Ah, nice. You are knocking it out of the park with these armchair chats. like you are doing a wonderful job getting these people to out there for more people to discover and to learn about, like giving them the opportunities to express how they feel about their art. I'm just loving it. I think my paint is much too green for what I'm going for. And while part of my brain is saying, hey, you should add more yellow to make it that, I think I need more of the green blue in actuality. And then maybe a little yellow after. So, yeah. That's where it kind of sucks that there's so much stuff on TikTok when there's so many of us that don't use TikTok, especially in the older generations. I'm saying that as someone in their mid-40s. So, possibly. It's the, God, I hate ASMR. I'm sorry about the scrapey noises. Yeah, because this is a very, very, so I'm trying for what is essentially it's not neon green, but it's kind of like a citron, that lime lemon mixture. So it feels like I needed it to go darker before I can go lighter. Yeah, on the drinking of the paint water, I am, knock on wood, luckily I have not done that. But there have been so many horror stories where people just have drank their paint water by mistake because they have two very similar cups on their table or their desk or wherever they're working. It's just like, oh, why would you do that to yourself? Okay, that's looking good. And do like you said and add white. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that about the TikTok. I never bothered getting into it. And I know that I can. I just didn't want yet another thing to stress over. I like that. The cheap plastic Easter cup. Sometimes they're the best thing in the world that you could possibly want. That's looking... My color isn't going to be exact to that. I just figured, hey, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to play around, see what we can make, that kind of jazz, to get this started. Because my previous streams have been incredibly short. So if anybody shows up afterwards, they miss the stream. But I figured this time around I would give myself something to chat about, give something to fill the time until people start showing up. Trying to get it off without touching any green. I know gouache is okay because you can literally just wash off the wrong color, but and the reason I'm using the little palette knife is I wanted to give my paintbrushes a break. Help them last a little longer if I don't use them to do the mixing. okay, it is nowhere near a vibrant color, but at the same time, I kind of like the color that I did end up with. See how, and that's the nicest part about not having to be concerned about perfectly recreating. Let me get, that sounds so bad. My gassy, apparently. You can see it's on this end here. This paint has been a little leaky of the oil, so the tube was never sealed properly. But this is just Prussian blue with a little bit, not a whole lot, of lamp black. And this is what I'm going to use because the background on that image, I'm going to, come on phone, it's not black, but it's not blue either. Well, I mean, obviously it's some blue because it's a dark blue, but I'm just gonna have to replace my water before I even start painting. Clean off that. My little palette knife. And then blacken up this Prussian blue. So it's a nice dark blue. There. So much easier. All right. I'm going to switch us over to some lo-fi vibes. I'm going to not toss the paints, but kind of just get them off the desk and into the drawer where I will sort them back into their piles later. Yeah, so fresh water, lo-fi music, and no humming from the laptop. Hello, other Rita. I've got the Ritas. Woo! I changed my tarot card draws and my runestones to weekly because I just was not connecting, was not feeling it. So I did mine yesterday. They are it's a mixed bag, as per usual, and it's always weird when the tarot cards and the runestones have very similar messages. Like, oh, I guess I better pay attention to this. Yep. All right, I'm going to get the phone part set up so I can film my overhead. Back to the music. So luckily I'm working with a very thick paint today because I screwed up already. These little nubbies were supposed to be independent, like what I did down at the bottom here. So they're gonna get covered in paint to hide those black lines. Because also, unfortunately, that's part of the green. I mean, the blacky color would cover it nicely, but that's not what I'm working with here. I'm working with the green. So, alright, I've added my water mixed with gum arabic. Add a little bit of longevity, we'll call it. Get this mixed in. Like I said, keeping it pretty thick for what I'm about to do, because I don't want those lines to show through. And I think I'm actually going to switch to my teeny tiny paintbrush, because this one, I don't know, if I just actually use patience and work slowly, I shouldn't screw up too much. Oh. Nice. For whatever reason, I thought the Tuesdays were all canceled. But tomorrow is Monday, not Tuesday. I know that there are a couple of the other writers that do streams that are having technical issues with their computers, just going, "Ha, you want me to do stuff? No, I die. I perish." Yeah, I'm not normally up right now. It feels weird to be awake when there's sunlight. I know it's only going to get worse because we're in that time in the English is gooder, the northern hemisphere, where there's just going to be more sunlight. But it's still freaking cold out there. And I know my Canadian reader is feeling that too. Being out there in the prairies, you got all that cold. I know it's been getting pretty nice out there for my southern Rita. So I'm doing all of this and then my brain is like, but what about the black spots? Well, luckily, like I said, this is just an interpretive, do my own thing with something that already exists. And even though the challenge was designed so that the Scribble art community in the SCA, which is the medieval reenactment group that I belong to, they wanted to give people a way to share their art with other scribes and other award painters, and to encourage a kind of sense of community to let people learn that their art doesn't have to always be the same as everybody else's. The key point is that they're creating, and that they're giving themselves the chance to grow while making something interesting to them. And that is also why I started doing this on the streams, is because the group that I belong to has oh, I think we might have actually reached the 500 mark, or we're very close to having 500 people. And of those 500, when we do the October challenge, it's very much Inktober, but this stuff here, when we do that, I think the most we've had is 40 people, and by the end of it, there's usually only 6 of us still going. So I wanted those people to understand, just because it's not done in October doesn't mean they don't have to, like, they have to give up on it. They can keep going. They can take the opportunity to use the prompts and just create. And in October, I didn't have the energy or really the mental capacity to do this. So I made sure that I had all of my work in sketch form done by the end of each week. Some days I ended up with 4 or 5 people or pieces sketched out. Other days it was just it was just the one that I wanted to do. Some days there was none done, which is why there were days with more, because I just wanted to make sure that I still was doing, like I was still getting something on paper. I was still making myself pick up my pencil and create. Now, I'm supposed to be doing that with my writing, but that is kind of hit a road bump where I think I'm only really capable of doing one thing at a time. And I chose this year for the streaming of these paintings. Okay, thank you so much for being here, my Southern Rita. Thank you for giving me something to chat about and keeping me from being the silent, weird girl. Now I'm just the chatty, weird girl. I hope your day goes good and that you get all your stuff done that you have to wrap up. Give the animals some love for me, please. Bye. Yeah, now that I've thank you so much. I love you, Rita. Thank you. Yes. The furry babies and the feathery babies, they all need the loves. And I will give Panda a little scritch from you when she comes to join me, because we know she will. Bye. Yeah. So I have the light on so you can see what I'm doing. But it messes with what I can see on the page. So there'll be entire chunks that have no color in tiny little white spots. And in the meantime, I'm over here trying to get this to work for me. I got too much paint on that brush. Oh, there we go. Like, I want to get as close to these black lines as I can without going over them. But because of the shine the light creates, I either go over them and not realize it, or I'm so far away from them I have to go back in to touch up the paint where the little speckles made it look like I'd done good, and I hadn't done good. So next week, I believe it is, next weekend, is the AuthorTube Sweet Retreat. That's the name of it. My brain is blanking. And I'm contemplating signing up for it, because even though this isn't my writing YouTube, it's the one I use the most. I'm thinking I might join some of the writers that might want co-hosts to help drive the engagement and the conversation. Which point I would definitely be doing some of my working on my writing. I haven't actually touched what I was working on in November, which was part of my world building. And I haven't touched that since December. Because once that wrapped up, it was time to get ready for the new year. Get all my plans sorted out, my journal set up. All of that had to be done before January. So I put aside the writing. Like I said, then this year I decided I was going to push myself to create these paintings and get more comfortable with streaming. Because it's really not a comfortable thing if you're not extroverted. And in my case, I am far too comfortable with silence to remember to talk sometimes. This morning with the cats, I made sure I chatted a lot. Got all chatty with the boys upstairs. And I told Gray that he was helping me get ready for the stream by starting my chatter, my one-sided conversation. This painting is actually going much quicker than I thought it would. I legitimately thought this might take 2 hours because it seemed more complicated than the last two that I've done. But now that I'm over here painting, it's like, oh geez, no. This wasn't as hard or as complicated as my brain made it out to be. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. Sorry for my rambling. And then turn the music back up. just wanted to pop back in here and remind you, if you haven't had anything to drink today, or if you haven't had any water especially, you should probably take a drink now. I know I'm about to. either about to make a horrible mistake, or I'm going to make this more ornate. But all those teeny tiny lines on some of this, I think I'm going to go ahead, like crazy ass, try to put some in. So, wish me luck.
No, it must have been my imagination. It makes me realize how desperately alone it is.
Alright, so stopping myself before I go completely crazy, before I go too far and have to undo, redo, on the vicious cycle. Oh. With this, as I showed, with this, I have finished the first 3. We had day 1, which was the gems, day 2, which was the heraldry, and day 3, which is arabesque, or at least arabesque inspired. And then next week we will get into the arches. Slightly different style. At this, I'm tempted to drag Panda over here just because she's supposed to be my special guest and she's been sleeping the whole time. Normally she hears me talking and she comes running, but I kind of want to drag her over here for snuggles. But all you guys will see is the black and white fur. Yeah, so next week I have this planned right here. And then the week after that, lindworm, which is essentially just a fancy name for dragon. It's a type of dragon. And in 2 weeks, we see the afterlife. Not meaning literally. I mean, we'll be working on the art of the afterlife. Oh yeah. I'm feeling good about what I did. I have to take another drink of water. I just pour it in my mouth because I don't have to wash the nozzle every single couple of hours just because my mouth has touched it. A very germ-y that way. Avoid backwash too if my saliva is never in contact with it. Alright, so if there's anybody still here, is there anything you want to talk about? Do you have other plans? I know that I'm just gonna pop over to YouTube and see what we got. Exit here before it autoplays. Actually, I'm gonna go over to my writing links and look there, because I think Tracy, the revised writer, is streaming right now, but I am not certain. As I said, I've been missing the stuff by sleeping. Oh, no, she canceled. Okay, so there won't be any overlap with her. I'm going to go to the author tube, see if there's anybody else. We've got 16th right now over on AuthorTube. In 9 minutes, Sarah Cahill will be going live. I'm gonna post her link over here, over into the chat. So if you want to go check her out, she's part of the AuthorTube writing community. Yeah, that should be that should be the right link. It should work for you. I did not know my screen would come up here. Oh well. The Paper Tiger has another one of her streams coming up in 45-ish minutes. And Somber Honey Books will be 3 o'clock my time, so just over an hour. You want to go check them out, give them some support. I'm not sure if there's any other art streamers going, but I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go join Panda, give her some snuggles, and then tomorrow I will work on editing this into a short video. Alright, so I hope those of you that are here feel like you got some stuff done. I hope you've enjoyed your time and some lo-fi beats. I feel like this went better. It's all because of my team Ritas. My northern and my southern Ritas giving me something to talk about, giving me some companionship. I appreciate you being here. I am going to head off now. So, I want to come off here and wonder why the hell my screen showed up. Yeah, get that off there. I have no idea why a window capture was in there. Sorry about that. At least I didn't have anything inappropriate on the go. Because I'm one of them people. And there we go. We got our music sorted today. I enjoyed having some lo-fi to listen to. I hope you did too. Got to see some work. I'm chatting, hoping she'll come over to say hi, but no. I think she's getting used to this, so she doesn't feel like she has to come investigate every time. But take care of yourselves, and I will see you around. Bye.